Hey everyone, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. Today we're doing a quick, easy, cheap catch can for your turbo application or whatever application you may choose. I'm doing a dual one for the transmission and one for the engine. But I'm actually doing the post-production right now, and I realize that, hey, we could Tarantino this a little bit and it'd be a little more understandable where we start at the end and end the beginning, maybe, something like that. But here's what we got. What I'm going to show you guys how to do is just make a simple catch can. You see my engine bay is like all this is full of radiator turbo piping stuff, turbos, and then it's this weird curvature stuff, so there really wasn't a lot of room. So I thought, hey, I'll just kind of clamp it to this funny AC guy. And yeah, so all this is just a 3-inch pipe with a 1.5-inch pipe dumped inside it, and it's got a little baffling going on with the drain on the bottom, and I just did a 1.5-inch guy on the back and kind of welded the two together, and you'll see that in the video for the transmission breather. So I got my breather solution plugged right in my valve covers. No longer am I shooting oil all over the valve covers, which is a plus, and I think that should make following this video a little easier for you. As I go through, I'll just mostly do a time lapse and talk about what I'm doing, and it should be pretty self-explanatory. I hope you enjoy. So basically what we're going to do is we got the tube, which is like this, and we're just going to put a couple of these guys, which are just 3/8-inch barbs. These are actually push lock barbs I sell on the website, but this is -6, which is kind of the equivalent to 3/8. It's actually a little bit different, but it's going to work just fine for this. So we'll stick these guys on the side. I'll probably just stack them one top of the other just to make it easy. And then on the top, we're going to, inside, we'll have this kind of tube, and we'll do a little block off piece on either side, so the air will have to kind of flow around this to get it somewhere to catch. And then on the top, we're just going to put one of these air filters like this. So pretty simple. Drain on the bottom, little 1/4-inch National Pipe tapered. So MPT on the bottom to drain, and that will be about all. We'll do something very similar for the one next to it. Will just be smaller, obviously. And I haven't really thought through this, but somehow I'm going to connect the two, just so I have less stuff to deal with. To the time lapse, so figuring out how to cut the tubes, it's easy. The end caps can be a little more challenging. The easiest rule of thumb is just your OD minus the wall thickness will get you the good fit up that you want to weld. Here we're doing a 1.5-inch, so you just do 1.5-inch minus the 125 wall, and then divide that by 2. Set your calipers and scribe it after hitting the center point, and that'll give you a good circle. And here we are, just whittling that out in the bandsaw. This is not my favorite technique. I would much rather use the plasma cutter, but I figured I showed you how, just in case you don't have a plasma table at home. One thing I will say that I learned using the bandsaw is never get your fingers behind the actual saw blade or in front of the saw blade, because sometimes you cut through stuff faster than you think, and then you end up cutting through your thumb all the way down to the bone. Feels awesome, leaves scars. And there's the fit up. So yeah, so we're just gonna cut out this tube, and that's just based off of whatever size. Be sure you include the filter, offset that, and there's everything we need. And what we're going to do is mark out the inner tube, so it's actually going into the main catch can and below where our fittings are, and then we're just basically going to hog out a little bit past 180, enough to fit some aluminum plate in on opposing sides. You see I'm checking right there. And what that's going to do is just make a nice little baffle. So yep. And it doesn't need to be much wider than the thickness of your aluminum plate. And then you just put a piece in there, mark it out, and cut that down. So then you have your baffles for your breather tube. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I prefer not to make it perfect. I leave it a little bit lumpy, and that way I have something to melt onto and tack onto the tube itself. and I'll show you here how it kind of overlaps and makes a nice little baffle. Perfect. And then all you do is just figure out what fittings you're going to use. You know, I'm using 3/8" barbs here. You could use NPTs or AN fittings, whatever it is, and just kind of lay it out. I like to keep the fittings, like I said, above where the pickup tube ends at. And we just punch out the holes. You see I scribed it, just kind of keep everything kind of lined up, leave it a little nicer aesthetic. And then on to the old parts polisher. So this is my old modified 4x36" $60 Harbor Freight sander that I added the 1 horsepower motor. You can check that video out if you want to. Pretty easy mod to make, and this thing's been brilliant ever since I've done that, probably about a year ago. The belt's a woven abrasive belt, and it just adds a nice finish. And it also cleans. So all these little pieces and parts have been in bandsaws and on my regular big belt sander that's used for everything. So the idea here is to hopefully knock out all the metal, so we're actually just down to aluminum when it's time to weld. And then there's the pipe. Everybody asks questions about this. What is that? It's a pipe polisher. You get them on eBay or in specialized parts stores, but I think I paid like $200, maybe a little less than $200 for this guy 4 years ago. The belts are crazy expensive too, back then anyway. The good thing is they last forever, so I haven't had to buy any new. I bought like 5 packs, which was, you know, kind of pricey, whatever, $20 times 5 or something, but they've lasted ever since I first bought the thing. So pipe polisher, check it out. And next we're on to the welding. What I'll usually do is, like I always say, run a test bead. Welder set up like it always is, probably 70 AC balance, 100 hertz, 120 hertz. The argon is between 12 and 13 CFH, and I'm using a number 5 gas lens, I believe, or if number 5 call it. I can't tell. You'll be able to see when I stop. And just run that test pass, because you never know. Yeah, it's a gas lens. So here it's just a matter of order of operation. So I'm going to tack on the little baffles for the breather tube, because it'd be impossible to do that from the outside. And then it's just a matter of taking a look at everything you have to weld and making sure you do it in order. When I do weld this tube on to the top, what I'll do is I use some nuts, and I'll just throw them down, and that gives me a good spacing, so I'll have enough tube left outside to put the filter onto, and also enough that I can weld. I like to weld all my bungs on the outsides. Just makes it look finished, in my opinion. But hey, if you want to kick back and enjoy the welding, please do so, and I'll leave you be.
So there is our breather guy. It's right now, and it goes from here down to the valve cover, and then the other side loops around to the valve cover, and then the little guy that you can't really see, which was kind of by design, just goes down to the transmission. So that is the finished product in the engine bay, and not bad. I mean, you know, piece of pipe inside the pipe, and some plate. Super easy, super fast, and great fun project to do at home. So yeah, give it a go.